Yesterday was a pretty interesting day in Philadelphia sports. Started the day with the out of nowhere information that Eagles key defender retires. And then we get the information later on that everybody's favorite manager is sticking around for at least one more year. We're going to talk all about this and so much more. Trending in the AM, taking your thoughts and opinions on all of this. We're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill. Wherever you're watching, hit that like button. Wherever you're watching, share it out. And, of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network YouTube page. It's the only place, the YouTube page, where you can vote on our poll question of the day, which today is what the Eagles should do with the edge situation. Make a big-time trade for Trey Hendrickson, fill in the spot with free agents, practice squad, move Jihaad Campbell, or beg Brandon Graham to come out of retirement. They're your options on the poll question today. And we're going to get into why that's the poll question. But, guys, we're sitting at 758 subscribers. We build that by, even if you're watching this on replay right now, you hit those buttons and you subscribe. Means a lot. It's free to support a local content creator to build their channel, guys. I'm Phil Stiefel. And, yes, we've got lots on the docket. Because yesterday morning, about an hour after the show, a dime dropped on social media that Eagles edge rusher ZaDarius Smith gone, retired, suddenly. Even though he had so much left in the tank, he's going to call it a career very quickly with the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL. And that leaves an already extremely weak position, the edge, even weaker, because despite him only being here 5 weeks, despite him not having a great season, he has been one of our best, most consistent pass rushers and run defenders on the edge this season so far. So now we are left with Josh Uche, Patrick Johnson, Azeez Ojulari, and Jalen Hunt, and that is it on the outside. And that's scary. That's big time scary. So Howie Roseman's job just got even a little bit more difficult. So we're going to talk all about that today. We are also going to talk about the news that dropped early afternoon yesterday, per John Heyman, MLB Network. Rob Thomson will be back for 2026. There'll be a press conference on Thursday, about 11 o'clock in the morning, between him and Dave Dombrowski. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Not sure I'm in love with the idea of bringing Topper back for another season, but we're going to talk about the why it is and the why it isn't a good idea throughout this show as well. I would assume there will be other major changes, Kevin Long, or something else, player personnel-wise, on this team going forward. But let's get right to the comments. Duck starts us off with, I think Howie could figure out a way to pay for a big trade. I don't think we go that route. It will be a free agent or minor trade with Campbell filling in until that lands. Yeah, problem is I think you kind of need two people right now. So you might need the big trade and the little trade. I'm in the boat now. Before the season, I was all for the big trade. But I think because of Howie missing on some of these other trades, like Tank Bigsby, our draft pool is not as deep as it once was. I don't know how deep you can go. I don't know what a third-round pick will realistically get you in a hot market. There's a lot of guys available, a lot of teams looking for edge rushers. To go get that big trade, it's going to be pricey. Good morning to you as well, Doc. Yeah, the Phillies don't want to change. They're just happy as a pig in mud. They have a great season and go no further. What happened with the Dodgers should be, yeah, look, I am not for 100% the return of Rob Thomson. I get he is one of the greatest managers in Phillies history, but that is not saying much. I know he's got the biggest or the highest winning percentage of any manager with more than like 50 or 100 games coached. Doesn't matter. Sometimes you need a new voice, and we're not getting that new voice. This leads me to believe, though, that Kevin Long will be gone, that a couple key players, the personnel is going to have to change. on this team, not just, the hitting coach. And that'll have to happen. F in the chat for Eli Ricks. He's off the practice squad again. It's over. Bills fan. I wonder if Bills fans are freaking out like Eagles fans are. Yes, we're at 758. Let's get to 760 today. NFL won at parity. There is parity this year. Yeah, the Commanders losing last night to the Bears. The Falcons beating the Bills last night. It was one of those nights that just goes to show that overreacting in week 6 to 2 losses might be a bit much for Eagles fans. A.J. Brown trade rumors are going crazy. He is not getting traded. Don't even bring it up. Eagles officially in trouble with no pass rush. That we are. The Dallas Renegades have a better pass rush roster. I'm assuming that's an IFL team. We can't pay a big trade with Carter's contract coming up. You can, in the sense of you can get rid of the draft picks. Trey Hendrickson, just so to speak, just say him, is on a 1-year deal. So you can make the big trade and you can lose them. You got Jalen Phillips and Jermaine Johnson. I think Bradley Chubb also are all on the last year of their deals as well. The problem is that we're down to 8 draft picks next year. Only 2 in the 3rd and 1 every other round, right? You trade a 3rd-round pick, what's that really going to get you? There's 6 or 7 teams looking at 4 elite pass rushers or semi-elite pass rushers. The price tag, you might have gotten Trey Hendrickson for a 3rd before the season started. Now, probably 2nd. Bradley Chubb, probably a 4th before, probably a 3rd now. Jermaine Johnson, who has 1 sack this year. He's got like 9 in his career. He might have been a 5th-rounder before. Bet you he's going to fetch a 3rd as well. The price to do business in the edge game has drastically gone up this deadline. Another year of Topper, another great year of content. Exactly. Look, I understand why they're doing it. My big issue with it now is, are they really going to let him go as the lame duck coach and not give him that 1-year extension? Is he really going to ride off in one season with that 1-year deal? That to me is weird. You very rarely have a coach of his success level working on a 1-year deal. So that tells me that they know that the end is near for the Topper error. The Dodgers game looked real familiar last night, but that force at home, honestly, I didn't watch it. We were watching a little TV, and I was watching some Monday Night Football last night. Phil, all major websites are saying A.J. Brown trade and JT can be done. JT? I don't know what you mean by JT. But A.J. Brown can't be done with the dead cap hit. He is not getting traded. It's a 0 chance. There is like a 10% maybe chance in the offseason, but there is a 0% chance that A.J. Brown is traded this season because of the contract situation. It's not happening. It's not getting done. No, it's not happening. No, it's not happening. Just ignore those clickbait nonsense posts. He is not being traded. Even if he wants to get traded, he's not getting traded. So it's not even necessary to discuss it. It cannot be done. Yeah, I think the $80 million dead cap hit's come down a little bit because the season's been underway. I think because they paid some money towards him already, it might be $79 million in dead cap. Being a little sarcastic there. But you get what I'm saying. But look, A.J. Brown's not going anywhere. So enough of that nonsense. Yeah, it's very mid-chatter at it again. Yeah. Not understanding the rules of football, K1. But the rules of football say that the Eagles are going to have a big-time problem against Minnesota with their edge rushers being Uche, Ojulari, Hunt, and Patrick Johnson. So, while we might want a big trade or a small trade, or maybe we want Brandon Graham coming out of retirement, I don't know. I'm not for the Brandon Graham out of retirement tour. There's 2 things here. The Jihaad Campbell conversation. I think Jihaad Campbell on the outside, that probably is your best bet at this point. But also, why are we in this position? What made ZaDarius Smith, who said when he signed with the Eagles, when he met with the media at his locker that first day, that he had plenty left in the tank? Now, this is all speculation. We don't know what the deal is. Some people are reporting something personal. I don't know. But what in the world caused ZaDarius Smith to just up and up and quit. His play on the field wasn't that diminished. Did he really say, shit, this Eagles team ain't winning like I thought? I'm dipping. It's a really, really random thing out of left field that I just don't understand. I'm just saying ESPN has been known to know things. ESPN has also been known to purposely stir the pot. If you trade him, where would we have them? Yeah, look, it's not happening. Don't even engage in it. They're keeping Topper on a short leash. They could capture that lightning effect with a new voice 2 months in. That is possible. That is possible. It does happen. If they didn't show fight in game 3 or 4, Topper would have been, yeah. Look, that is one thing, that they keep him on the lame duck coaching contract, because if in late May we're struggling again, or the same issues are creeping around, it's easy to get out from. But there still needs to be, if you're keeping Topper, that means other changes, whether it's Kevin Long or Cottom, or whether it's letting somebody like Schwarber walk or whatnot. There has to be roster changeover. There has to be personnel. There's got to be someone on his bench, Nooms, I think you said this one, that's willing to say, Rob, you're wrong, to him at some point. Hurts got nothing over Allen. Allen has been terrible, and Bills fans won't call him out. Well, Josh Allen had just as bad of a game as Jalen Hurts did. Bills are 2 in a row. Losses. Where's the hate on the Bills? I bet you if I turned on ESPN right now, they wouldn't be crushing the Bills. They'd be saying the Bills got to get Josh Allen help. They wouldn't be crushing the Commanders. They just say it's a learning moment for Jaden Daniels. Yeah, he don't know. TMZ needs to change channels. Look at the tape. Smith had an expanded role versus New York Giants, was slow and out of place big time. That can't be comfortable or on an easy pill to swallow. He has not been great or anything like that, but depends on expectations that you set. ZaDarius Smith, as a guy that was brought in after week 1, I had minimal expectations for him. Thought he was going to be helpful, not the piece. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe he was being asked to do more than he felt he was capable of. It's very possible. And maybe he did look a little out of place, but learning a new system still 5 weeks in, older, whatever. I don't know if he looked slow. Maybe slow by his prime standards. I don't know. It's a quick contradictory to say, got lots left in the tank, almost signed before week 1, to up and going instantly. It's true, they should be as hard on Allen as they are. They should be as hard, if not harder. EPSN is glowing up Allen, but kills Hurts when that have bad game. Yeah. You want to guess why? Hurts won't give them the quotes and live on. Yeah, exactly. What's up, EC1? How we doing this morning? I want Howie swing for the fences. Imagine, I don't know what won't happen. Sauce Gardner, one side as to QQ. Yeah, I mean, I've seen people dabble with the Sauce Gardner trade rumors. It's not as expensive as people think. I don't know. I don't know about that. Hey, we don't even know when Quinyon Mitchell will even play again. We didn't get any update on his injury status, considering he did leave the last game. So we'll have to see there. We might be in even a worse situation than we realize right now. Both Hurts and Allen got married in the offseason. Guess that married. Yeah, supposedly there's a bad record of quarterbacks that get married and then what their season immediately after is. What's up, Bruce? How you doing today? Hope you're well. How are you feeling about Rob Thomson coming back, Bruce? How he finally do something big? He's going to have to consider doing something big. Marcus Theory could have been on the block again, and with money and success in pocket, used the only leverage he had. I ain't moving again. Peace. I've seen a few people speculate that they were considering using him as a trade chip, which would be weird, though. Unless he figured the Eagles figured he wasn't a good fit and wanted to trade him. It's a weird situation. There's so many different angles you can look at with ZaDarius Smith, and it's just complete insanity. They need to worry less about marriage and more about the playbooks. Well, I mean, it's okay to get married. There's nothing wrong with that. Give them the first-round pick, Adoree and Keeley. For whose? No. Hey, nobody wants Keeley. Nobody wants Adoree. I ain't trading my first round pick. I ain't trading my second round pick. This Eagles team needs that first and second round pick. And at least one, you've got one third round pick and a bunch of late round picks. That's all you can trade, which really limits what you can get at the deadline when you think about it. You're going to need to draft your Lane Johnson replacement early next year. You're going to draft a tight end early next year. You're going to need a bunch of positions filled, maybe even a wide receiver in the first 3 or 4 rounds next year. You have a lot of positions to fill in the offseason, in that draft early on. You can't be trading a second-round pick for Trey Hendrickson. I feel it's very bad news that Rob will be mad again as he has messed up everything, I feel. Look, I'm not happy with it. Not happy with it at all. But I'm going to at least wait to hear what the offseason strategy is going to be from Dave Dombrowski and him on Thursday. They'll probably announce Kevin Long's firing, which is step 1. But I need to hear what the plan is before I get too upset and worked up about it. Yeah, we don't have Q on Sunday. Carson Wentz is going to go for $350. Plain and simple. Do you see us getting 2 big trades? I don't see us making any big. When I say big trade to me is Trey Hendrickson, okay? Max Crosby. That's a big trade. I do not see big trades happening because I think Howie sees it. There's a lot of parity also in the NFL this year. You've got a team that's not performing at its peak level. Are you really going to trade a first or second round pick with the situation this team and league is in right now? I don't know. The Tank Bigsby trade's really coming back to haunt us. He should have been thinking about the past more than getting married. Whatever. Sauce Gardner, baby, he's worth it. I don't give those pick you got. Look, I get it. And that would be crazy. Having a secondary, a Coop Q, and then Sauce, man, that would be sick. That would be a sick secondary. There ain't no doubt about it. I feel we will fix things and we'll start winning a lot again as the Chiefs did. Start 0-2. And now that, look, I hope so. We are entering must-win territory this week. Must-win territory for the Eagles. Season hinges on Dickerson, Juergens, and Lane's health. Absolutely. And that's why you can't go trading your first or second round pick for Trey Hendrickson or whoever. Because you're going to have to draft a first round talent or second round talent on the offensive line next year. Because you've got to have a better option to back these guys up. You've got to have Lane's eventual replacement to back these guys up. Well, see, the thing is, EC1, back in August, I did several shorts and several shows about the Eagles trading for him in August. You could have gotten Trey Hendrickson for a third round pick, maybe a 4/3 conditional pick. You could have. But now look at it. Now there's 7 teams that want an elite edge rusher right now, right? At least 7 teams that want him. The Bengals know the Eagles need him. You think they're going to let him go for a third round pick now? Hell no. Someone will easily offer a second round pick for him. And I can't do that at this point. I just can't. What's up? Good morning to you, Bucks, Rays, Bolts. How you doing today? There's an AI of Easy E talking to Mr. Rogers. Easy E? Who's Easy E? I saw one of Tupac talking to him. Bucks in here, always. Feel that as long as Rob is the manager, we cannot win as he doesn't prepare the players or the team to win. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They're going to sell us another false bill of hopes, and we'll see what happens. But it's going to be very hard to get excited for 2026 with Topper at the top of the charts. And I think they realize that they're going to have to make major changes because they know the fan base is going to be upset about this. Once Howard opened the door to say, trust me, he opened the door for some criticism. Oh, once Howard, what are we talking about? Defensive, Phillies. Who are you? What did I miss here? How am I missing this comment? Open the door for some criticism. Nick Sirianni asked if the offensive play calling will change in any way, and he didn't just say no. He said adamantly no. Once Howie Roseman said, trust me. Gotcha. I took me a second to figure that. I think Nick Sirianni being so adamant with the no means he is not making a change anytime soon. There were other things that led me to believe before he said no that maybe he would eventually make the trade or change. If you look at when he made changes in 21, 23, with play callers, about this time of the year, the mini buys is when he makes those changes. 21, he went from him to Shane Steichen calling plays. 23, decide at Patricia. But then when he so adamantly said no, he didn't say, well, we looked at no. No, he just said no, next question. I mean, the Bucs are the best team in football right now. I want nothing to do with baby washed up Kerrigan. Unlike KC, who are getting injured and suspended players back, we are living through injury. They also have a good experienced OC and not one ready footballer for dummies on the sideline. That is true. Mike McDaniel next on the chopping block. Everyone assumed he'd be fired by now. But no, Brian Callahan's fired, not Mike McDaniel. So take that with what it is. Also, Kevin Stefanski's on the block, too. So I was wrong as I feel we can make the playoffs but not win the NL or World Series. That's the problem. Who cares about 96-win seasons, Bruce, anymore? I know I don't care about 96-win seasons. I care about what happens in October. And we fail in October under Rob every time. We don't need this guy, but rather acquire Max Crosby. Max Crosby's another name that's going to be floated around over the next, the November 4th is about 3 weeks away. A lot of names on the board. For all of our agita, we are still 4-2 and have beaten the best team in the NFC. Also, gold it's good ounce. Is that a good price per ounce? Good for you. Or good for gold people. Yeah, we're 4-2. We still got a full game lead in our division. We got 2 very winnable games next. And outside the Bucs, who's the most dominant team in football? Henderson is Robert Quinn 2.0. Wow, Trey Hendrickson, that's a bold take. I mean, Robert Quinn was never as good as Hendrickson. And when we got Robert Quinn, that was a quick fall off. So don't heat no Josh Allen MVP talks lost. Dude, there's no criticism of Josh Allen going on anywhere. But we'll bring the criticism here, right? We'll bring the criticism here. Him and Jaden Daniels both failing their team in their city last night. Not going to lie, I do not expect Sweat or Milton Williams to be this good out of the gate. Hey, how about Bryce Huff? Bryce Huff's having a hell of a season out in San Fran right now. He'd be our sack leader right now. I think Henderson might go for first round pick now. I mean, I don't know if he will because you got to pay him. You're not going to trade a first unless you have a deal pre-locked up with him before the trade. But I would say for sure a second is on the table for him. Nick Sirianni says he and Kevin Patullo worked on the inefficiencies of the Eagles' offense, particularly on third down. He says they feel they found some solutions. They're excited. Yeah, look, I get it. Great coach talk. But see, the thing is, the reason why I thought he did talk about also that they're not focused on pointing the blame or figuring out what's wrong. They're focused on ways. They're focused on solutions, but they're not focused on the problem. When he said something similar, Desai got axed. When he said something similar, he axed himself. Josh Allen is worse, and the Bucs will look when Rico Down runs 400 yards on them. Opportunity to amend them, yes. As poop as it was to watch us against the LA, the Brewers don't look any better. And that's a big part of it, Nooms, with the Phillies. And I said this on my TV appearance. That let's remember, the Eagles lost, or the Phillies lost, to the best team in baseball. The defending champions who are repeating as the best team in baseball. It's not like they lost to like the Cincinnati Reds in the playoffs or something like that, like an 82-win team or something. They lost to the best. It sucks, but it's true. Sirianni is protecting the Nepo baby at the detriment of his career in Eagles. I don't know if he will. I think Nick Sirianni does care about his own career more. Dart saved Dable, he did. What's up, David? How you doing, my man? Because the offense is Nick's, and he approves the final play calling, and this was his hire. Brian Johnson wasn't. He is usually using his equity from the Super Bowl to allow time for KP to try and succeed. And you know what? I'm not 1,000% against giving Kevin Patullo more time. Let's remember something. That Kevin Patullo has designed plays that have not worked. There have been at least 2 times every game plays that were missed because of routes not run out by a wide receiver, random overthrows from Jalen Hurts that doesn't happen, missed blocks because of the offensive line, the defense putting them in bad spots, the kick return team backing them up against the goal line all the time, which changed play calls. There have been a lot of things that have happened. It's been so much more than just Kevin Patullo's fault. Kevin Patullo's to blame. Kevin Patullo has been bad. But this is not all on Kevin Patullo. Guys, I just did a refresh. There's 14 people watching. There's only 5 likes on this video. Like, share, subscribe, vote on the poll, guys. Please get after that for me. I think Howie acquire a player either this week or next before the Vikings. Well, he's going to have to do something just to have bodies out there this week. You know, they're going to have to bring up, I don't even know who's on the Eagles practice squad edge-wise. There's no edge rushers out there, free agents. You could probably check some practice squads. But the trade hasn't happened yet, so the trade's not going to happen before this game. Maybe during their bye week, they make their big trade. But right now, it's too late to make that trade and get them effective. After Bucks, it's the Colts. Bucks, Colts, Steelers are the 3 best teams right now. I don't know if they're the best overall. Steelers might be the Super Bowl at this rate. That would literally make me want to throw up. Milton Williams, pretty good. Pretty much all the Eagles that we let go are having good seasons elsewhere. Steelers look scary, and it literally drives a stake in my heart because it's led by Aaron Rodgers, and I hate that. For what they ask of Huff in that system, it doesn't surprise me a lick. Vic wants versatility. Huff wants to pin his ears back. Absolutely great. Absolutely great. So 2 coaches are crap at play calling, getting together to find a solution to something they're not good at. Nice blind leading blind. That's fair. That's a fair opinion. Really think Eagles still team best, otherwise still chance. Look, I agree. I am not actually after watching last night's Monday Night Football, I'm less in panic mode than ever before. I really am. You got 2 weeks you can figure it out. You get a bye week, and then you got 3 weeks to figure it out. Steelers got Gainwell. What do we got? Yeah, exactly. That's why they look like Super Bowl team right now. Panthers going to crush Bucks. I don't know about that. Garbage Barkley, what? What's up, BC? Defense end Jermaine Johnson is a name that has come up for several teams. They are talking pretty high picks in a Jermaine Johnson trade, and I don't understand that. Been banged up in his career. In 23, he had a good season, but that's about it. I don't understand why the value of Jermaine Johnson is so high. He's got 1 more year left on his rookie deal at like $13 million. But people talking the same value for Jermaine Johnson as Trey Hendrickson, and I just don't think the production is worth that. Don't think so. Shipley is not back at blitz pickups, but he doesn't have the same leverage as Kenny G. Rath have Jermaine Johnson as the explosive X animal we don't have. We need that X-Pac Predator. And look, there is a connection. Joe Douglas was the GM of the Jets when Jermaine Johnson was drafted in the first round a couple of years back. Joe Douglas is back in the Eagles front office. ZaDarius Smith did retire. Do you live under a rock? He did retire at random yesterday. Kind of shocked everyone. Kind of popped up out of nowhere. Kind of sucks. Kind of crazy. What's up, Marshawn? We were patient with Johnson and Desai, too. Look, for as much crap as we give Brian Johnson had like the 8th ranked offense in 2023 in the NFL. Was it pretty? No. But we were the 8th ranked offense in the NFL. Google it. So it wasn't all on him. The Desai, the defense, was just as big of an issue, if not worse. We need Kenny G mojo. We need a Garrett Stubbs type, right? Is that what we need? What's up, Judd? How you doing today? Hope you're well this morning. The unsaid reality since the illegal man downfield enforcement, we aren't the same screen team we used to be, and that is killing us. Dude, I saw some screens last night and on Sunday in football games. Running back traditional screens, wide receiver bubble screens, creativity, fake a pitch, fake a handoff, dump it off for a screen. I saw plays around the NFL by shitty teams with shitty quarterbacks executing them. I'm just like, where's that for the Eagles? Where is that? Antoine Powell-Ryland is the only edge. So maybe APR gets called up this week. If they don't bring anybody in, you'd have to think they call him up. I know he hasn't. He's at the point where he's not really settling in as a pro yet. He's one of those guys that gets cut, brought back over and over again. But maybe they promote him and give him a shot. Give him a couple snaps. I don't know. Bryce Huff with his hand in his dirt is Jason Babin. Yes. Wide 9 level, right? He never fit into the Eagles scheme. Yeah. And look, and he's succeeding this year. It's going to cost us a draft pick spot. I got killed for saying the Colts were the third best AFC team. Well, they might be the second best AFC team at this point right now. Panic gets click. Phil, panic more. Oh my God, I'm so scared. I'm so scared, K1. It's Halloween. I am watching the Ed Gein story on Netflix right now, or Ed Gein, so I am in panic mode, looking over my shoulder. Milton had 2.5 sacks, 2 sacks coming in the last game. Production doesn't match the moolah he got. He's also a defensive tackle. Defensive tackles don't get dozens of sacks or anything like that. Jets should be selling. The Jets are selling. The problem is what they have to sell is pretty pricey. At the time, Hackett was widely considered one of the worst head coaches in modern football history because teams desperate for edge. A lot of teams are desperate for edge, and that is going to be a big thing that affects the Eagles here at the deadline. Several teams have called the Jets to inquire about trading for pass rusher Jermaine Johnson. The Jets are asking for a large amount to even consider moving him. And it's crazy to me. Like, Trey Hendrickson, I get if a team wants to dump a second or third round pick. But I don't know, based off of his production so far in his career, whether Jermaine Johnson is worth a second round pick or a third round pick. Can we please stop giving the offense long fields with our special teams? I know. That's just as much to blame. Just as much to blame. And yet, that's not that when we talk about the offensive failures, does anybody ever talk about that, Nooms? No. We could screen to save our lives ever. I saw so many screens this weekend work. I would trade for a pair of defensive ends before quarterback 2 or safety. 100% agree. I've said for weeks now, edge, offensive line, and tight end. They're my 3 top trade targets. And maybe 2 edge, okay? Those are the 3 things you need on this team more than anything else. Cornerback 2 sucks, I know. Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, it sucks. Maybe Mac McWilliams gets a shot. Jacorian Bennett will be off of IR in a week or 2. We can figure that out. We can patch that together. You can have a subpar, one of your 3 cornerbacks be subpar if you're getting a pass rush. We're not getting anything. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. And it's pretty pathetic at this point. New study from the UTEP shows that I did see the article on that this morning pop up. I did not click on it. I won't lie, but I do want to read that at some point. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It really is. Great conversation this morning, my friend. Jermaine Johnson also played with the Bulldogs. There is the Bulldogs connection there. There's the Bulldogs connection. There's the Joe Douglas connection. So there is reason. But, David, do you understand why I feel like these reports of the Jets wanting so much for Jermaine Johnson just doesn't match what he's done on the field? Now, I know the Jets have been a dumpster fire as an organization, but, like, if Trey, just for argument's sake, say Trey Hendrickson goes for a 3rd. That means Jermaine Johnson can't be worth more than a 5th, right? Like, there's no way that if Trey Hendrickson gets a 3rd, Jermaine Johnson does. It's just weird to me. It is. Brian Johnson's back where he belongs, pass game coordinator for the quarterback that can move. Yeah. Yeah. Ed Gein was a piker, Phil. He wasn't even the sickest freak in Wisconsin. It's just an excellent, excellent, creepy-ass show on Netflix, okay? Buying from the Jets is like buying from the Facebook marketplace. Never again. I love it. Great one. Great one. Love that. The Pats fans and analysis are loving Milton Williams. Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are playing good football right now. Why wouldn't they? Giving the Bengals a second for Hendrickson, he's on a one-year round. I said I'm not. I said before the season I would have, and you all blasted me for saying I would trade a second or a third for him, and then you figure out the money after. Clay is not preparing our special teams. He sucks again as a coach. He's always been not good. I don't know where the love, just because you've got one of the best kickers in football and one of the best punters in football, does not make you a good special teams coach. Our kick return and punt return teams have been bad. Our coverage teams have been bad for years. CJ is available. Look, I was against CJ when he got cut by the Texans, but he's on the Ravens practice squad. He's out there. You can claim him. You can sign him. Drew Makuba has been very hot and cold. Drew Makuba and CJ also have experience in the slot. I would go get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson now, based off of everything that's going on. Wasn't a big fan of it, but now, in the last week or so, I've eased. And right now, give me Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on his team, Marshawn. We need some swagger on that defense. Also, it seems like every year that Reed Blankenship lines up next to Chauncey, he has a great season. And every year he doesn't have Chauncey, he struggles. Ringo isn't even subpar. He's a double bogey. He's a quad on a par 3. Edge problem looks way bigger without Carter those two games. It's a problem, but not sure it's the biggest one. Oh, it is by far the biggest problem on this team. Think about it this way. The Broncos have 30 sacks on the season, and we have like 8. Just think about that. CJ is the ultimate Facebook marketplace order. Yeah. He didn't play in FSU, not Georgia. He didn't play in FSU, not Georgia. Oh. Maybe just a coincidence, but the locker room doesn't fall apart when CJ here. Meaningless split or harsh reality. It is. I agree. They will gamble on his traits if they acquire him. The traits. I get the traits. But I don't get the value based off of what he's done. He played at FSU. Jermaine Johnson, but I think he also played at Georgia at some point. Jets know they have teams over the barrel, and it would be malpractice not to. Yeah, they're going to strip it down in the Jets. Absolutely. Sometimes you find gem in the marketplace. That's true. You could. Michael Clay is the Jim Schwartz of coordinators. Michael Clay's or Jim Schwartz is about to become a head coach at some point again when they fire Kevin Stefanski. Michael Clay might be worse than Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz was actually better than we gave him credit for. I don't understand the new kickoff. I still haven't figured out every detail of the rule, Judd. There's so many different weird, wacky things in the kickoff. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Never thought I'd say this. And what's up, Bobby? Good morning to you. But the Minnesota game is must win now. Dude, it's not, never thought. There's no doubt about it. Okay? No doubt it that you have to win on Sunday. We will be live right here, 1 p.m. for the entirety of the game watch party. Go Birds. It's absolutely must win. You cannot lose 3 in a row. Now, mind you, these stats, I did not fact check them. They're coming from an unreliable source known as ESP, Elliott Shore Parks, the WIP. Since week 7 versus the Raiders in 2021, the Eagles have only lost back-to-back games 4 times. Once right now, and 3 times in 2023. 3 in a row. When they lost, 5 or 6 in a row there. So this is a rare thing we're in. So the Eagles will be prepared as best they can. Makuba is a rookie. There's a reason he's high. Absolutely. But getting him a little help wouldn't hurt, right? It's automatic on the 40. I don't know what it is, the kickoff. What's up, Mr. Wilfred Brimley? I love seeing famous people over 30. Oh, man, I love it. The things that happen on the morning show. You got to love moments like this on the morning show, right? You got to love it. Eagles quit. This is such a bogus BS. EC1, you can't believe everything you read on Facebook and Twitter. Just because it's on Facebook and Twitter does not make it true. I'm still thinking of Wilbert Brimley's comment. Nobody is trading for Keely Ringo. Nobody. Okay? Nobody wants Keely Ringo. Trust me on that. Honestly, the Philly Dogs have been up and down in their Philly career. Absolutely. I think it's a fair statement, Marshawn. I think it's extremely fair. Someone would offer a bag of bagels for Keely. No, they'd want you to include the bag of bagels, and they'd want you to pay his plane ticket. I told you to move Dejean to the outside, but you wouldn't listen. Look, I still don't get who's playing this. So you move him to the outside. Okay. So what do you do with the slot? Cooper Dejean is the best slot corner in football. Why would you want to hurt that position? You need a slot corner that's elite. I don't see any team starting on the 40. It happens occasionally. There is a rule about that. If it doesn't land in the kickoff zone, I think if it lands before the 20 or 25, I don't know. It's so goddamn confusing, Judd. Good morning, Little G. Hope you are well today. I love Jim Schwartz. I was shocked he's still in Cleveland. Dude, I used to criticize him so heavily in my early podcasting days, Marshawn, in my AAT Bird days, and it was rough. But now I look back and I'm like, yeah, he wasn't that bad. The same issue with Ringo as a safety is the same issue as a cornerback. Change of direction. Ringo could be one of the top safeties out there, but just go there. Yeah, look, I don't know. (24-17) Eagles, but the drama continues. Now you're already locked in on a prediction. I can't be locked in on a prediction this early. Fans hated the sticks defense. Oh, I hated it. I had Craig James, Eagles cornerback, on a podcast during the Schwartz era when he was injured and out for the year, and he was doing podcast appearances. I had him on, and I tried so many times, and I phrased the question like 8 different ways, trying to get him to criticize Sticks defense. And all he would do is just grin and just say, and I would just move on to the next question. So even the cornerbacks don't like it necessarily. Eagles have 50% chance to win the NFC East. They dropped from 80 to 50 in 1 week. Now, I think I saw that stat before the Commanders lost last night. So the Commanders lost last night probably changes that. Diabetes. Overdeveloped core and too wide on torso. Too many sit-ups. He's got too much of a six-pack on X. Yeah, look. Everything you read on Twitter is not necessarily true. Not even the Titans don't want Ringo, and they can't get anything right. That's true. Mac McWilliams can play the slot. He can play on the outside. He's been a healthy scratch, though, for how many weeks in a row? I would expect him to be activated this week, especially with Quinyon Mitchell being banged up, maybe out. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer or not. Cooper Dejean should be the traveling cornerback instead of Quinyon Mitchell. It's interesting. It's not the craziest idea. Make him travel all over the field. Interesting. And he kind of does travel already to an extent. DJ's correct. Let's take more slot cornerbacks out there than good outside ones. But you're taking an elite from one spot and downgrading it just to fix it. Like I don't even think it matters who's outside or inside. He's one of your 2 starting cornerbacks. He's always out there. He's playing 100% of the snaps. So he, to an extent, is a traveling cornerback. He's an outside cornerback that just moves inside when the offense dictates that. Somewhere a GM is salivating for the opportunity to sign Ringo to their practice squad. I don't know if he would even get practice. He would get practice squad for sure. NFL rules suck. I think Phil Illuminati. NFL rules, I don't know if they necessarily suck as much as they make these random adjustments that are so goddamn confusing. In 27, you have to you owe Smith and Carter their new contracts. Understand Carter and Rosenhaus isn't taking a cent on a $40 million. How do you assess that situation? Tag Carter. Carter's going to get his extension this offseason. All right, no about it. To lessen the blow. Okay, Carter isn't going anywhere. His season this year may have affected that dollar amount a little so far. He's still got plenty of time to turn this year around. Nolan Smith, I think they'll try to sign this year to get him very cheaply. Based off of, what we probably originally thought. But those guys are going to get their extensions this year so that when they go in effect in 27, they're a little cheaper than market value. That's classic Howie Roseman 101. And Drew Rosenhaus knows this. So it's going to be a tough negotiation. The Eagles haven't used the franchise tag in a long, long time. And I wouldn't think that it'll be in this situation either. What you're going to see is you're going to see the salary cap continue to go up to make these affordable. But you're also going to see a change on offense where they're going to have to get cheaper over the next 2 years. So that in 27, when the big money hits, they can. They're also going to re-extend or renegotiate Jalen Hurts' contract in the next year or two as well to free up this money. At least that's my opinion. I mean, the 10 yards off the line of scrimmage that Sorts would call warrant the hate. Dude, it was crazy. It was crazy frustrating. Nickname is Type 2. Yeah. I love this. What's up, Chet? What do we got on Philly Press Box Radio tonight or tomorrow night? Oh, that's right. I'll be on Philly Press. Honestly, I totally forgot till this comment that I'll be on Philly Press Box Radio tomorrow night. Damn, I did a damn good job remembering that one. Oh, man. What am I going to talk about? Eagles or Phillies? I don't know. Wilford is the king. He really is. Sticks defense is fine when you have DBs that can take an angle. And when you got 4 guys that can get a pass rush. GP1. Dejean's case, there is no downgrade. I mean, he can travel in a way that he covers wide receiver 2, or if wide receiver, exactly. Like against the Cowboys, say, Marshawn, right? You've got CeeDee Lamb, who plays about 55% of his snaps in the slot and about 45% of the slot snaps outside. You make him cover CD on the outside or Quinyon Mitchell on the outside, and he covers Cooper or George Pickens. And then when CD lines up in the slot, Cooper covers him in the slot. It really doesn't. I think we make too big of a deal who's the outside and who's the inside guy when you have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper Dejean as 2 of your guys. Now, this week, if Quinyon Mitchell misses the game, which we don't know, they haven't said anything about his injury, then sure, you want to move Cooper outside because you're missing Quinyon? Sure, I could get behind that 100%. The NFL is suspending Lions defense, with 1 game, and deservedly so. It's been a decade. It's been at least a decade. I don't even know how long. It's been a long, long time. No, that's all I remember. I remember thinking about it ducking this past offseason. I think we talked about it on the show, and it was just way too long ago for me to remember that stat there or detail or piece of information. Guys, we have been live. We've got over 20 votes on the poll question, or 20 votes exactly on the poll question, but only 11 likes. That means at least 10 of you have not hit that like button, guys. So like, subscribe, share. Please, guys, do that for me. Which is when you consider Carter was suspended a game for spitting on the ground. Yeah, absolutely. Should we call the Gloucester Township Police Department do a welfare check on parallel lines? No. He's still out there. He's still doing his show. That's why he just didn't like the way it went the last time he was in the chat. That's why players love playing here. They get paid properly and earlier. Absolutely. And it helps us. I hope Wilford checks in on Chet's show. I hope so, too. Can Jackson or Ringo cover wide receiver 3 or 4? Dude, no. I mean, you had the Buccaneers on Sunday not just missing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but Ibuka went out in that game as well. And they had their 4th, 5th, and 6th wide receiver out there. I wouldn't trust them against a 4th, 5th, and 6th wide receiver. Exactly. Hammy is tricky. Q will miss the game. I would expect so. But they haven't said whether it was serious or not, whether it was precautionary. They really have given us even less than the typical nothing that they give us on him. And honestly, Marshawn, they didn't even Nick Sirianni wasn't even asked about Q yesterday in the press conference. Titans should offload. Seeing Titans, the Jets, the Raiders, maybe the Saints. There are going to be about 4 or 5 teams offloading a lot of guys here at the deadline. Yes, Brian Callahan, fired, which we know. Mike McCoy back, Ellen DeGeneres' twin brother, will be the head coach for the rest of the year. Go redo it. Go look this up, EC1, for what James Franklin's getting from Penn State, a.k.a. Adidas. It's hilarious. Hilarious. Can how he traded Dory and Ringo for Snead and Denzel? Yeah, like that. Easy peasy, Japanesey, right? Fangio doesn't want to move Dejean outside because he's a stubborn old school coach. Phil doesn't want to move Dejean outside because he's afraid of the unknown. Yeah, it's always been my philosophy, mister. You don't fix one problem on a team, and this is all sports teams. You don't fix one problem by creating another problem. That's what it is for me. And Fangio being stubborn, I get it. Fangio has a style he wants to run. Cooper's the perfect fit in the slot for him in that situation. He needs a slot corner that's willing to tackle, that's willing to stop the run, willing and capable to stop the run and to blitz the quarterback. Dejean fits the role perfectly. How much is Franklin getting? They said just under $50 million. Supposedly, Adidas is paying all of it for Penn State. It was Adidas that wanted him out of there. So, yeah, something like $30,000 a second this year. It's a huge penny. What was the imaging results on the hammy? They have said nothing. We don't even know if they've done imaging on the hamstring. That's what I'm saying, which is weird about the Q. Like, at least you hear after the game something, and the Monday after something. We've had 4 days in between here, or 3 days in between. We've heard nothing about what's going on with Q. Not one report from the NovaCare complex. Not one beat reporter with a unsubstantiated report. Even Deanna Rossini and one of her anonymous execs haven't even dropped the rumor. What's up, Rose? How you doing? Is it a nice young man? We got some really famous people that comment on this show. If the matchup dictates it, you absolutely take from one place to address the other. If the matchup dictates, absolutely. And see, the thing is, I think they do dictate that on the game based off of what the offense is doing. Oh, wait, we won't hear till tomorrow. It's always, no, the Eagles do give some updates. Hey, he had testing done. We'll know more later this week. At least that is, if the beat reporters weren't so focused on just ZaDarius Smith and Kevin Patullo in the presser yesterday, we might have more information. But that's all they wanted to talk about. Literally every question yesterday was about Kevin Patullo's play calling and ZaDarius Smith. That was it. 12-minute presser, boom, that was it. All you had to do was ask one question. Do we have an update on him? And then Nick Sirianni could have said, well, I can't get into the details. He had imaging. We'll know more Wednesday. That would be the ultimate hookup right there. It really would. Guys, this has been an interesting show, but there's not enough likes on this video. We haven't gained any new subscribers. We're at 21 votes on the poll. Update here on the poll question. What should the Eagles do? 57% of you said big-time trade like Trey Hendrickson. 33% of you said move Jihaad Campbell to the outside. And then 5% of you said fill in with free agent practice squatters. And 5% of you said Brandon Graham, come back. Okay? Let's move on to that Jihaad Campbell as the solution on the edge angle. Nakobe Dean's back. He did not see the field last week. Didn't see the field last week at all. Other than, I think, 3 special teams plays. If Jihaad or Nakobe Dean can play 20, 25 snaps this week, is your best bet putting Jihaad Campbell on the outside? What is going on in the chat right now? Like, seriously. What is going on here? Oh, my God. This is hilarious. Look. I think the firm was on TV the other day. I haven't seen that in ages. Oh, man. I couldn't see the 3 plays Dean was on or what kind of burst he has. He wasn't on the field for defensive plays. It was only 3 special teams plays. So God knows, I don't know when or where they were in the game. But I think it was tough to expect him to play at MetLife his first game back, much if anything. But you might have no choice at this point. You may have no choice. What's up, Eric? The gatekeeper, the Grand Boomba is in the house this morning. Good morning to you. We're talking Eagles. We're talking Phillies. We're all over the place. We're setting up Rose and Wilford Brimley on a date here. We're doing it all. Dean was on special teams. I don't think he played. He didn't play any. I think it was only 3. It was only 3 snaps. 3 snaps on defense or special teams. So he didn't even play every special team snap. So is that the best course of action They've already been preparing Jihaad Campbell to move to the outside on occasion. Or is the best case action putting Zach Bond on the outside? I mean, that's what he was before he came to Philly last year, an outside pass rusher. I honestly, we just accidentally said it once, and I don't think there is a story. It's just one of the random things that we don't know about. I don't even know where the core 12 came from. Like there's so many things that are regular parts of this show. No clue, Nooms. No clue. It's just doing this show for 4 years. We're 2 weeks away from completing 4 full years of trending in the AM, just so you know. Just one of those random things that pops up and just never goes away. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Dude, this chat today has been something, is all we'll say. It has been interesting, is where we'll leave it. But anyway, when you say a day one, you just know. Day one, we'll just say day one-ish, right? Really? I don't remember. If there's a story, someone can Illuminati me on it, okay? Illuminate me on it. Everyone's just saying hi in the chat. Eric has always been and always be the gatekeeper of the Illuminati for the kids. For the kids, right, exactly. Look, I don't know. I don't know what the Eagles should do. I don't know the answer to that question. And also, we're still talking Phillies also. Also, the Flyers got their first win of the season. Sean Couturier, the captain, 2 goals, 2 assists last night. Flyers win 5-2 over the Carolina Panthers. And you think I didn't watch? I watched the entire second period of that hockey game last night. Look at me. Watching Flyers hockey action, yo. Deep and profound. Maybe. I don't know. What else is in my notes here? What else is in my notes? Now, I do think that the immediate answer on the edge is Jihaad Campbell this week. I do. And we're not talking all the time. Jihaad Campbell will continue playing 90+% of the snaps. When you don't need him out there, when you put Ojulari and Hunt out there, you can have Campbell on the inside. Let's just remember this. Right now on this Eagles team, it's Jalen Hunt, who's done nothing in his second year. Talking about a sophomore slump. Josh Uche, Azeez Ojulari, and Patrick Johnson. That is your only 4 edge rushers on the Eagles roster right now. That is it. There's nobody else. Flyers actually have a first line, and it doesn't have Mitchkoff on it. Dude, I said it yesterday briefly. I'll say it again today. I can't believe there's people already jumping off the Matvei Mitchkoff bandwagon. Like, seriously. The dude's 20 years old, and people are already jumping off the bandwagon. Love the kids. Yeah, thanks for the children. Watching an entire period of hockey. Dude, if we weren't in the middle of the Ed Gein story on Netflix, probably would watch the whole thing. We got to get healthy at some point. But honestly, everyone keeps saying, give them time to get back into form. Give them time to get healthy. Give them time to rest up. We're 6 weeks into the season, Eric. Got 2 more games before the bye week. Are we really? We're never going to get healthy that we want. The Eagles have been blessed, honestly. Since the 2020 debacle season, the Eagles really haven't been an injury-prone team. So some of that law of average is bouncing out. What's up, James? Yes, Flyers won, and you can win by hitting that like button, damn it. Damn straight. Push Dejean to the outside. McWilliams, Campbell will cover. All right. Push Dejean to the outside. Mac. Campbell will cover defensive end for now. You can play Bond, Campbell, and Trott, and cheat Bond. Trott Jr. is another one. We haven't seen him on the field. About halfway through training camp, he was going to be the starting linebacker, not Jihaad Campbell, right? We haven't seen Trott Jr. on the field at all this year. Forrester, 100% worked on having faster hands this offseason. Mitchkoff is getting the other team's best checker. That as well. I look at it as the kid's 20. He's in his second year in the NHL. And it's 3 games into a season with a new head coach. I would not be panicked or worried about Mr. Match Matvey Michkov at all. Phillies are bringing back Topper. You can't make it. That was my initial reaction as well, DJ. But then my second reaction was, why did I expect anything different? For sure. So, and there's going to have to be changes. You can't just 100% run it back and trade, instead of re-signing Kepler or re-signing somebody else. If the Phillies just straight up run it all back, re-sign Schwarber, Ranger, JT, don't trade anybody, and just run it back with some slight tweaks, you're going to get very little Phillies love from me next year. Trot was never, but he was getting the reps in practice. Look, I get it. But there was a lot of love coming into this season for Trot Jr., a lot of it. What's up, Mitchie Pooh? Good morning to you. Hope you're good today. Subpar reviews, but I'm digging the Monster Ed Ginn series, 6.5 episodes in. We've got 2 episodes left. So we've watched 6 episodes so far. It's not as good as the Dahmer one because it's made by the same people that did Dahmer, and we haven't seen the one on the Melendez kids. That'll be next. It's not as good as the Dahmer one, but it's a different kind of story. I think the actor plays Ed Gein and played Jack Teller in Sons of Anarchy. Phenomenal actor. It's just a different type of story. Trot is who he is, a 5th linebacker. There's so many people that told me I'm wrong for that. So many people that told me that Trot Jr. is the man. He's next up. You can let Nakobe Dean walk before we drafted Jihaad Campbell because Trotter Jr. is great. I know too much about Ed Gein to watch a doc about it. I've watched like a half dozen. Yeah, from what I know, it's not 100% accurate, but it's still entertaining. I guess we'll talk about Ed Gein. I'll have it finished tonight anyway. Crawford must be up unless he is hurt. They need to stop. Crawford needs up. Andrew Painter, you toss him to the fire. And you know what, honestly, I'm bringing up Aidan Miller. The Phillies need to get younger and fresher on their team. Who are the top 5 prospects? Maybe Gage Wood? Top 5 prospects. Bring them all up. And move everybody else to make room for them. It's too late to put Dejean outside. Should have used training camp to train someone to play slot. You could play Mac McWilliams in the slot or outside as well. And they might. Charlie Hunman is a great actor. He is. I've only known him really from 2 things, Sons of Anarchy and Gein. I know he's done a lot of other things, and I may have seen him in other things. I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. The curse of complacency starts with the head of Daryl Morey. When he's gone, Topper will follow. So we can't fire Rob Thomson till the Sixers fire Daryl Morey. I don't know if I follow that logic, but okay. All right. But they all do need to be gone. For sure. Rincones is also ready for a look. Bring them all up. All right? This team needs youth. This team needs energy. This team needs somebody that's still got some fight and desire in it. I said it the other day on Twitter. I got a mixed result opinion on it. That I am okay if the Phillies let all 5 of their top free agents walk. And I know that's a really tough, sticky problem with JT Realmuto and what we have at the catcher's position. I would let Schwarber walk. I don't want to, but I would. I would let Ranger walk. Don't want to, but I would. JT, Harrison Bader, Jose Alvarado, Corky Romano. They can all walk. I don't care. And then just figure out something different. Bring up your minor leaguers. Expect your best players to, do what they do. They need a flip. They need a if they're not changing the guy at the top, everybody below needs a little change. Watch Ed by Turn on House of Ninjas. Been locked in. Haven't seen it. Dejean can play outside. Played it for years in college. He's been sitting in cornerback and he's playing outside during camp. And again, he does. When they're in base formation. Mac played mostly slot in college and not. They were working him on the outside with the 2s in training camp. But he is a slot guy from what they drafted him as. What this team does not need, 12 to 2020. And that's fine. I get that. Harrison Bader doesn't have a long shelf life. He's a fit, but this is his one opportunity to get a big payday in an offseason. Are you going to commit to 32-year-old Harrison Bader, who was an average player before this year for his whole career? Are you going to commit 3 years, $45 million, 3 years, $50 million to Harrison Bader? I don't know if you could do that. The odds are he regresses back to his normal form next year. So I don't know if I love Harrison Bader. I want his energy here. Can you find me a 3-year younger version of Harrison Bader? Anyone ever seen The Gentleman and the Triple Frontier? Triple Frontier is a movie on Netflix. I think I've seen that. That's got, what's his name, from Thor in it. I've not seen The Gentleman, though. Mac has the raw tools to play outside. He might get a chance this week. Working with the twos, we hit the ones. Well, working with the twos as a mid-round draft pick 2 weeks into training camps is actually a pretty big deal. When you weren't even expected to start, or whether you weren't expected to be the backup, you're years away. Working with the twos when he was says a lot about him, or says a lot about the depth of the position. Yeah, how's his hips? What's up, Elephant? Bader was a very below-average player for the majority of his career. I was saying average to be generous, but yes. He hasn't done much. And this is one opportunity to cash in, and he's going to cash in. Should it be the Phillies? Maybe if you let Ranger and Schwarber go, maybe you can take that risk on him. But yeah, Harrison Bader's streaky, always has been, 5 home runs in one postseason. Yeah, he's a very streaky guy. Absolutely. The Gentleman is a great show in the movie from Guy Ritchie. Tons of thumbs up for that. We'll put it on the list. I didn't realize. Yeah, look, people don't realize. I thought when we got him, he was like a young kid. No. And look at his numbers over the last 3 to 5 years, Chet, compared to this year. Was this a one-hit wonder? Was this a flash-in-the-pan year? Are you committing 3 years, $50 million to him? I mean, I love his energy. I love his vibes. I love the different kind of personality he brings to this team. But you got a lot of old players on big contracts. I don't want this team getting even older. I want them getting younger. Bader is a risk because if he reverts back to his norm, you have an outfield problem. Exactly. Well, he'll be 32 very early next season. Chet said June. I thought it was May, but whatever. Very early next season, he turns 32. People don't realize it. He's been in Major League Baseball for a while now. I want the Phillies to completely flip it. Let Schwarber walk because you already got too many guys that need to DH on this team. Let Ranger walk. Let Bader walk. Let Alvarado, let the other guys like Corky Romano walk. You consider JT if he's going to sign a 2-year deal. But then what you do is you got to get a better backup catcher, and you can DH JT. I want that DH spot to be left open, okay, for JT, for Bryce Harper. If you can't trade out Alec Bohm or Stott need to go. Castellanos needs to go. Bryce will be the DH. I mean, Bryce Harper's breaking out. Bryce Harper's still, I've said this before, Bryce Harper's still an all-star level player, but he's no longer the MVP. You know, they don't do all pros in baseball, but all pro level player that he once was. You got to give him a break even from the field a little bit. He's breaking down. He's wearing out. There's a lot of guys that are going to need to DH over the next 2 or 3 years. DeAndre Swift had a hell of a football game last night for the Bears. Fun fact about DeAndre Swift's 180 yards last night, game on. The fun fact is that the Bears beat the Commanders. Trey needs to go, but who wants him? Yeah, look, we got a Trey Turner problem, for sure. Maybe. Even though he did win the batting champion this year. If Schwarber's gone, you may see Pete Alonso here. The problem with Pete Alonso, will he DH? Or maybe you put him at DH and Harper and Alonso platoon first base /DH. I don't want Bryce Harper back in right field. I think that's a bad idea. Sosa has some pop. Freddie Burns, what is up? Good morning to you. Hope you are well. Greetings and salutations. I like Sosa, Edmundo Sosa, as a platoon top guy off your bench guy. I think Edmundo Sosa as a starter, everyday starter, is a bad idea. If you're going to move, just say, theoretically, you move Bryson Stott, right? You bring up Aiden Miller, okay? And then you have Aiden Miller, and then you have Sosa filling in occasionally, once or twice a week for him. And then you can then move Sosa over to third base and give Bohm a chance to DH or whatever. Sosa as your super utility guy, great. Sosa every day, bad. Maybe on a 1-year deal I would take him, but I would prefer to try something else, maybe a Robert Jr. or a Buxton or a Bellinger. Yeah. In the words of the great Reggie Miller, all world. Trade to the outfield. Did they talk about this last offseason? I forget why this was a terrible idea. I mean, look, Trey Turner has his deficiencies at shortstop. Would he be better suited at second? I don't know. But I think he actually had a better year this year than he did last year at shortstop. Trey Turner, I don't know. I don't know what to think or do with Trey Turner. I don't. Trey Turner was the batting champ this year. He played better defense. I think Trey Turner's just misplaced on this team. I think you could actually find a taker for Trey Turner if you really, truly wanted to move him. The Bears, yes. Buxton in this lineup would be sick. Doesn't he get hurt a lot? Bryce is the best fielding first baseman we've had since Rico Bologna. That was my very bad Harry Cowles impersonation. Bryce Harper's actually a really good fielding first baseman. Considering he picked up the position on the fly, Freddie. He's really solid at it. But he's breaking down. So giving him some days off his legs by just DHing him wouldn't hurt. We think the Eagles' D is struggling. The Commanders' D is terrible. You should have spelled it with a U. Terrible. Bryce will ask for one of his buddies again. And you know what I'm doing if he says that? I'm saying no. You don't like it? Request a trade out of here. I love Buxton. Trey in outfield was a terrible idea because he doesn't want to go to the outfield. Turner had good D in the playoffs, shockingly. Turner, if you look at his metrics this year versus last year, they did get better. The Bears, yes. That's right. So I have seen Tatsuya, Charlie Hunt, and other things. I've seen Pacific Rim. Just one of those things that I forget some of the things he's in. Everyone spammed the Bears, so Phil has to read it. I don't have to read anything. I could just ignore it if I wanted to. The Bears. Guys, we got a lot of people jumping in late here. We're up to 25 votes. There are not 25 likes. If you haven't, hit that like button. Subscribe, share, continue voting on the poll question of the day. Bryce will ask for Juan Soto. Could you imagine trading for that contract? Like, that would be disgustingly sick. Look, the Phillies got problems. They need an influx of energy. And if Rob Thomson's returning, you need a new hitting coach. I know Cotham, the pitching coach. Everybody loves him. I'd move on from him. Fresh voices. You got to put someone in the Phillies dugout that's willing to tell Rob Thomson that's a bad idea. You need a yin to a yang. That's why Vic Fangio and Nick Sirianni work well together. They're different. But that's why Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni don't work well. Because Kevin Patullo is just a yes man. Kevin Long's a yes man to Rob Thomson. Yes, Buxton has injury issues, but I think he set a career high in games played this season. I thought, okay, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. I thought this year he had a big drop-off in games. Maybe this year was the big jump in games. Look, we need changes. We do. Chat Mrs. Wilfred and Rose. I just think Wilfred and Rose and James Dookie, they're all just you guys with second accounts. That's what I'm really saying. That's what I really think. I think it's a big joke from you guys. I'm imagining Wilfred saying, the Bears. Yeah. Spam in the chat, don't bother me, Mitchy Poo. Just so you know. Because all spam in the chat does is keep more comments coming in, which all that does is help the algorithm grow. We haven't really had a very good start to this week, but it is what it is. And we got up to 17 likes today. Not bad. No new subscribers today. But, you know, we're chugging along here. Look, the Phillies need change. I know it's the point. But also the negative, just to be theoretical on YouTube stuff, Mitchy Poo. If you spam the chat with some stupid stuff, great, it helps the algorithm, right? But then if somebody jumps in the show for the first time and all they see is a bunch of crap in the chat, they might not stick around and become a follower of the show. So I try to stick to the points as much as I can. Yeah, we dabble in the jokes here and there. But we're not growing. Yeah, someone has, dude, there's a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of spam accounts out there. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. It is what it is. The jokes make the show special for us, the core, right? The jokes don't bring in new people that don't understand the jokes. Brian Colangelo apparently had the time as GM of the Sixers. The time? Like he knew what time it was? I don't understand that comment. Phil needs to bot farm. I do not. It's all organic growth here. We need VCP. I mean, I could bitch and moan about the pizza shop today if you wanted me to. The time to create fake accounts. Gotcha. Sorry. Missed that little link there. It devalues the joke when I miss the joke, Freddie. But that's true. That's a good point. Fair. Nobody complained about the jokes. If they want to do good, they need to spread Ridley Scott awareness. You guys. Frederick's still hurting from Kirkring's throw. Possibly. But hip hop is back. Yeah, I mean, look, Joel Embiid is back. Joel Embiid looks slim and healthy. Hip hop is back. The black jerseys are back. Once I thought I was out, they pull me back in. STT Organic YouTube Radio. I don't know. I was trying the other day to make some new STT Sports Network logos instead of just having the one at the bottom of the screen there. Wanted some creative logos for the network channel for when I do more content. But I didn't like the ones I came up with the other day. Is it finally time for our winter teams to start pulling their weight? It would make the winter much better if they actually started doing something. Mediocrity comes with those black jerseys. It's no different than the Kelly Greens, right? Right, K1 or Marshawn? It's at least we got to the finals with the black jerseys, right? At least we got there. It was a great time. I mean, it was a well-run. The Sixers back then were basically like the Eagles now, just without the championship. Pat Croce running that organization. It was great. Pat Croce had us the pride of Philadelphia there, the way he ran that organization back then. If only we could get rid of Gritty. I saw somebody starting things on Twitter about how much they hate Gritty. Do people really hate Gritty? Gritty's like the perfect mascot. Recognizable, marketable, kids love him. I'm still hurt. So does our title. So does the title run. STT, I know. And that's what Chet and Bill Furman like to joke occasionally on Philly Press Box Radio when they say it. Yeah. Actually, mediocrity never left the building. That's true. It actually got worse. Sounds like a NASA projects, but it's sports for Philly nerds. Yeah. Gritty is the Nickelback mascots. Wow, that's a low blow on Gritty, I think, right? Let me know when we trade VJ for Ace Bailey and I'm all in. Are we still upset we didn't get Ace Bailey in the draft? I wouldn't leave my kids with Gritty. Wow. Why would we get rid of Gritty? What would be Jalen's celebration dance? I don't know. Sports straight at the season. See again, someone jumping in the chat for the first time, and that's the first comment they see. Boom. Sports transmitted trauma. I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. I'm writing that one down. I like it. Well, Gritty is great. A complete Joe, which is awesome. Look, I think he's a perfect mascot. I don't get the hate for him. Stop trying to glow up Nickelback. Yeah, Nickelback is just the absolute worst. Absolute worst. Special teams, terrible. That does fit for STT as well. That absolutely fits for what STT stands for. 1,000%. We're coming up on the final 10 minutes. All right, so if you haven't liked and subscribed and all that, do it now. We're at 18 likes. I want to give a quick recap on the poll. 25 votes so far. Big time trade is dominating the poll today on what the Eagles should do with the edge position at 56%. Move Jihaad Campbell outside 32%. Brandon Graham coming back 8%. Stupid idea. Phil with a free agent practice squad 4%. Would be great if VJ Edgecombe was the next Jimmy Buckets. Wow. That would be interesting. VJ Edgecombe is getting a lot of great reviews from training camp, obviously summer league time, and practices and scrimmages. VJ Edgecombe has a chance, if the drama of this team doesn't break him, to become a great basketball player in this city. He really does. People are strange today. They might pop in, see some of these comments, and think, I'm home. That's true. That's true. Man, the next Jimmy Buckets. I always said that the Sixers were always behind the eight ball because they were never trying to find the next, big-time player. Like, I remember when Kawhi Leonard was in year 3. This was before podcasting days, when I had like 10 followers on Twitter. I put out a post on Facebook and Twitter saying the Sixers should go get Kawhi Leonard now before he becomes great. Now, in hindsight, how great was he? That's debatable. But you got to have the next stars before they're stars and develop them into the stars, whether they're through the draft or through trades for young players. BG is in no shape to come back. He's happy in retirement from what I've seen. I know. There's just so many people that, just like with Cam Jurgens struggles and Landon Dickerson out, everyone's like, oh, go get Jason Kelsey to come back. They want these retired guys to come back. That's all. And I get the nostalgic act, but guys that haven't played football in how long coming back. It's not about where they're drafted. The Kawhi thing was I was starting to see signs of turning into a great player. Same thing happened with Jimmy Butler early in his career. I saw the signs of developing a great player. Now, I don't know who that is right now. It might be VJ Edgecombe. We might have drafted that next guy. But you also have to have faith in your development system. And I don't know if I trust Nick Nurse and company to develop Edgecombe or develop any of these young guys like Jarrett McCain. We're hearing that we might start Maxey Edgecombe and either McCain or Grimes and go with 3 guards. And I'm okay with that. I don't care what the Sixers do win-loss record this year. I've already ended the season in my mind's already over. My mind this season's about developing for the next season. Developing McCain, Edgecombe, etc. I want to see VJ Edgecombe play 25 to 30 minutes every game, 82 games this year, and see what he's like at the end of the season. Watch that development. That's what'll get me excited for this season. Same thing with Jarrett McCain. Kelsey's like 60 pounds. Yeah, he can't play anymore either. I know. But people love the nostalgic acts. I'm not sold. We got 5 guys playing the same position while waiting on our mighty 37-year-old injured Supermax player. But Joel Embiid, man, he's got a little bounce in his step. I wish MLB would just announce the champion. Let's get to the offseason. This is a really big offseason for our Phillies, and I think they do some big things. Keeping Topper means that the Eagles have to do Phillies have to do a lot of other really big things. They're going to have to make some drastic roster changes for me to buy in next season. NBA Finals appearance, book it, East wide open, and no expectations. If Joel Embiid can get to 45 to 50 regular season games and be healthy come April, I can get behind that. But if he plays less than 40 games, there's no chance. I left last offseason saying that they didn't do enough. I don't want to have that happen again. Yeah. I don't disagree with you at all. Not at all. No, you're going to get no disagreements from me there. Coffee's almost done. We got 5 minutes left in the show. It's been a very entertaining show. He's probably watching it, and he's probably typing up in it, quietly. I live rent-free in their heads. Anyone see the forecast at home? Double play from center field. Oh, the force out at home. Double play from center field last night in the Dodgers-Brewers. Might be. No, I've not. Playoff baseball was not on my agenda last night. The Ed Gein story was on my agenda. Monday Night Football and then the whole entire second period of Flyers hockey action. So I was all in on those things. I'm too frustrated with the Phillies, again, to care about the rest of the playoffs. It happens all the time to me. Stupid stuff like last night's or the Phillies season, it just ruins the rest of the postseason. That double play was nuts. Phil, it up after the show. Bases loaded, forced out from. I'm sure I'll see it on Twitter at some point today. Ball hit off of the wall. Interesting. I'll go look it up. I'll make sure I see it. Don't worry. I'm sure I'll find it pretty easily. But anyway, what's on tap tomorrow? We'll hear from Vic Fangio today. Maybe we learn something. We'll hear from Kevin Patullo today. Maybe we'll hear something interesting. Maybe the Eagles will add to their roster at the edge, at somewhere else. I did go on Spot Track and pull up the top free agents available at positions in need for the Eagles. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson isn't a free agent. He's on a practice squad. He's on my list. The top tight end available right now, C.J. Uzomah on the team last year. Top defensive tackles, Christian Wilkins and Linval Joseph. Justin Simmons is still out there, and Stephon Gilmore is still out there. Free agency, I said yesterday, is there a Linval Joseph or an Ndamukong Suh that can help this team this year? Crazy that Linval Joseph is still out there and hasn't retired yet. But you look at the free agents this year, there ain't anybody out there that can help this team, I don't think. I really don't think so. Phillies. We got to wait till Friday to talk about the Phillies again because we won't know what's said from Topper and Dave Dombrowski till Thursday morning. And I expect them to announce some managerial changes on this roster, some bench coach changes. Phils did win the money, have a better record than the Cubs. Did win you money. Okay. Gotcha. Interesting. You bet Phillies over Cubs wins. All right. Got it. I think I covered all my notes. We'll start with the must-win game for the Eagles tomorrow. That'll be the poll question for sure. We don't even know who the quarterback is. I think I covered all my notes. There's one there. I could cover that topic tomorrow. I'll put a star next to it so I don't forget that I got to cover it tomorrow. It was a good win. I enjoyed watching Flyers hockey for 20 minutes last night. I did. Really enjoyed watching Flyers hockey again. I'm slowly, last year it started, this week it's turning the corner. I'm slowly getting excited for the Flyers again. Top OC? What, available? Go get Brian Callahan. Go get Kevin Stefanski. Just don't get, what's his name? The captain had 2 goals, 2 assists last night. I was about to turn the TV off and I saw the breakaway score, his second goal. Yeah, look at Coots. I keep forgetting about Sean Couturier. He has been a Flyer, I feel like, for 37 years. But then I looked this morning. It has been like 13 years. 2011 he started. 2012 with the Flyers. The dude's still only 32 years old. Dude's been around a long time. I feel like I was still in high school when he started with the Flyers. Stefanski, dad, is the pride of Monsignor Bonner and Delco. I know they're from that area. I don't know which school. He hasn't officially been fired. The rumor is he's going to be fired and Jim Schwartz is taking over. I would take Stefanski as an offensive consultant. Brian Callahan, offensive consultant. Anybody as an offensive consultant over Mike McDaniel. That's just me. Go get me Stefanski. Sure. Why not? Why not? Right? Coots 2 years away from back surgery. I just can't believe he's been around for so long. Dude, I would take Doug Peterson over Mike McDaniel, but I don't want Doug Peterson here either. I think that ship has sailed long time ago. Honestly, I'm going with what I got. I'm telling Kevin Patullo, nut up or shut up. I'm telling Scott Leffler, get in his ear more. Question him more. Coach him more. I'm doing all that before I'm bringing anybody else in. I'm going to let a few more coaches get fired also before I make that decision. Aaron Glenn might not even make it through his whole, I know he's a defensive coach, but he might not even make it through his first season. Charlie Manuel in the dugout with Kepler was great. Yeah, they brought him back as a special assistant, only for home games, I think it was. I really would like to see, here's the thing, and this might actually work. I really wanted Rob Thomson fired because despite mixed rumors, I wanted Jimmy Rollins to be the next head manager of the Phillies. But maybe they bring Rollins in as a bench coach for Rob Thomson. And then, as he's got an expiring contract, if it fails, you fire him halfway through the season, and Jimmy Rollins just takes over for the rest of the year to catch that lightning in the bottle. That is how the Phillies get to the World Series next year. Boom. Put Rollins in the dugout. All we can do, fire Sirianni, trade Hurts, let the drama unfold. Stop. It's some people say he wants it, some people don't. He coached World Baseball Classic. He coached some, I think maybe the Arizona Fall League. He's had coaching dabbles. He's helped in training or spring trainings and stuff. He said at one point he said he wanted to. Another point said he doesn't know. I don't know. He seems way too involved with baseball still to not have that itch to coach. And every interview, I went through 3 or 4 articles that interviewing him over the last year. Not one of them asked him the question. I went to a bunch of websites and stuff. I think Jimmy Rollins would be the perfect guy. But with Rob Thomson coming back, an even better guy to just have in the dugout as an assistant, right? And then when Topper gets fired in June, that he comes in, just like Topper did in 22, catches lightning in a bottle. There's the answer. Anyway, guys, it's pissed. We're in overtime. I got to wrap this up. I got to go pick up my wife's car from the shop today. So we got to wrap this up. Everybody have a great Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Freddie, you can bring this topic up right at the start, all right, tomorrow. And we'll pick up with the Topper and Jimmy Rollins conversation tomorrow. Everybody have a great Tuesday. It's very simple. It's go Birds. Bubbles up, guys.